Welcome, everybody. My name is Scott Conklin. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Episcopal High School. And we're here with our head soccer coach, Rick Wilcox, and a couple of his soccer players, Yubsira and Hunter. And we're excited to learn more about our soccer program today. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Coach Wilcox and the boys to introduce themselves.
So I'm Rick Wilcox, as Coach Conklin said, and I've been a member of the Episcopal community since 1994. Became the head coach of boys varsity soccer in 2000. I'm also the parent of a senior boy named Eli and a daughter who graduated a few years ago named Lily, and live here on campus and do other things such as dorm duty and academic advising, and also serve as the associate director of the advancement office.
Yubsira, do you want to go next?
Yep. My name is Yubsira Zagaye. I am Ethiopian. I'm a senior at Episcopal High School, and I joined my junior year on varsity. I'm also a member of the BSA, the Black Student Association, as well as the Military Appreciation Club.
Hello, I'm Hunter Hammond. I'm a sophomore at Episcopal. I'm from Delaware, and I've been playing soccer, lacrosse, and basketball here. Really nice.
Great. Thanks, guys. Coach Wilcox, do you want to highlight some of the things that you want to talk about your program?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Scott. So as I said, I've been coaching in Episcopal for a long time, and it truly is one of the aspects of my job at Episcopal that I love so much, because every year we get to have this really unique, powerful experience with a tremendous group of student athletes who share my passion for soccer. Our team is unique in that we have students from all around the country, and as you heard from Yubsira, he's also Ethiopian, but lives in Namibia. So a couple of other countries, who that are represented there. But it seems that we always have lots of different kids from lots of different places coming together in pursuit of something that they love to do. And so we get to share that passion. And for me as a coach, I get to work with really interesting kids, but also get to work at trying to put together kids who come from different backgrounds and with different skill levels and different assets that they bring to the program, which I always think is really neat and really fun. We do have 3 soccer teams here at Episcopal on the boys side that compete interscholastically, and we typically have between 60 and 65 boys spread across those teams that here we call varsity, JV, and junior. Among those teams, we have tremendous coaching at all levels, and so I truly believe that all the kids get a really good experience and have an opportunity to develop and to aspire to reach their goals. Whether that goal is simply to be a part of a great team that's a lot of fun to play on at any level, or if somebody wants to become a varsity high school player and a very good one, or even if somebody wants to go on to play college soccer or beyond. I think that they're supported well by the coaches. I think the team chemistry within the program at all levels is really, really strong. And of course, we have amazing facilities at Episcopal too, which is a huge advantage. As I think about the things that are important to me in terms of my philosophy as a coach, I always want to bring out the best in every individual player. Of course, I like to win, as most competitive people do. However, I would say that some of the best seasons that I've had that have been most rewarding to me, and perhaps most rewarding to the players on the team, are not necessarily the ones that ended in championships. And we have won championships, 3 state championships, and a number of conference championships. But oftentimes the seasons that are most rewarding are the ones when the team comes together to overcome adversity, and you can look at the trajectory of the team over the course of a season, and you can see tremendous improvement, not just improvement among the individuals, but what they're able to do and accomplish in terms of being a team and being competitive on the field. And that to me is really the most rewarding. At Episcopal, we have on the varsity team oftentimes in years 3 or 4 players who will want to go on to pursue college soccer careers. And then, others who are supplemented on the team who are good athletes, who are good soccer players, who want to be a part of something special and a great team experience. So it really is truly rewarding for me to get to work with these kids every year, because every season is a unique journey. And so this year during the pandemic, some unique situations that we've had to face, and so far it's been just training. But my compliments to Hunter and Yubsira and other guys, because the enthusiasm among the group of players this year has really never been higher, which is truly amazing and speaks to the character of these guys and their teammates, and especially the leadership of the team. So at some point soon, we're hoping for some interscholastic competition in the next couple of months, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. So now we're going to do a little Q&A session. I'll throw some coach questions to the coach, and also some questions to Hunter and Yubsira. But we'll start with Hunter and Yubsira, and either of you can answer whenever you want to just chime in. But can you talk a little bit about what it's like to play on the boys varsity soccer team at Episcopal High School, what that experience entails?
Definitely. Coming my junior year and going straight into varsity has been such an experience. I remember the seniors on the same varsity team I was on always uplifting us, and I feel like that's the whole tradition here at Episcopal. No matter who the captains are, or no matter who's wearing the armband on the field, it's always about leading the team. You don't need to wear the armband just to lead the team, and I feel like that has been one of the best aspects of playing varsity soccer at Episcopal.
And I'll add on to that. I think it's nice, it's especially fun when you got a lot of guys out there working hard, going to like futsal, which we did last year. We couldn't do this year because of COVID, sadly. But you got like guys putting in the work, going to soccer practices on the weekends, stuff like that. So it's like a commitment, and like everybody's committed to it who's playing varsity this year.
Great. Coach Wilcox, you talked about the different levels that players come in at, the junior, JV, and varsity, but can you talk about what that experience might be like for a beginner level player, and also for someone who's really looking to play at that collegiate level and beyond, as we've had some of our soccer graduates that are playing professionally. But how do you accommodate kind of that range in talent?
Yeah, well, the nice thing is that we do have 3 interscholastic teams, so that helps straight away. What we will want to do with students when they decide to come to Episcopal, if they have an interest in soccer, and in particular if they think that they might aspire to be a varsity soccer player at some point in their career, is to have a conversation, so that I want to talk to the boys before they get here. I want to talk to the parents to get a little bit of an idea of what their goals are. What do they really truly hope to accomplish, and also where they are, as an athlete, and also as a soccer player in terms of their experience. So if there are boys who are, high level travel team club players, oftentimes they'll come straight into preseason their first year, even if they might be a freshman. And get that good experience, and maybe even compete for a spot on the varsity team. But I recognize that not a lot of kids, not every kid who comes in with that level of experience. So when they arrive here, there's an opportunity over the course of a few days, once school starts in a typical year, where they're being evaluated by the coaches of all 3 teams, and we'll be able to create a good situation where either athletically, they might be on a lower level team because it's a younger kid who's still growing and developing, or it could be that there's an athlete who is a little bit better developed, who also has the soccer skills, who might end up on the JV or the varsity team for their first year, but they'll be surrounded by kids who will be appropriately challenging them, every day in practice, and also when it comes to competition against other schools, and then supported by coaches who will be, teaching them in terms of, skill development and tactics. And I also think that the coaches at all 3 levels really keep it fun as well. Hunter, who is on the call, came to preseason last year, had good experience, has really good soccer skill, came in with good skill, but was still developing athletically. And so last year, Hunter ended up playing on the third team, on the junior team, because we wanted to make sure that Hunter was put in a position where he was going to be at the center of things on the field at all times. So he was kind of running the show for that team that was mostly other freshmen and some sophomores, where last year the JV team was dominated by some older athletes, where it was a better situation for him developmentally to be on the third team. And some of his teammates, actually, there were some really pretty good soccer players on that team, and they had a really successful full season. But then also he was blended in with that group were some players that were a little bit more novice. So maybe, Hunter, you want to talk about what your experience was like last year? It's one of the leaders of that team.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a really nice experience. You know, I think everybody as a team developed, like everyone grew, with their soccer skills and stuff like that. I think we almost got like everybody on the team a goal. So it kind of felt like we were like a family, but like it was like a really fun experience. And, I miss it. And cause I haven't played soccer like in an actual game in so long, but, I think everybody didn't just treat it as like a joke. It was like everyone, like we all wanted to win. We all had like the spirit in us. And it was really fun.
And then, Hunter grew, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches over the course of the year, put on some muscle for sure. And also worked really, really hard to continue to develop his soccer skills as well. And in fact, this fall, I would say he was one of our hardest working players. So, there's a great example of that upward trajectory of a player.
All right, got a question for the players here. How do you get ready for the soccer season? Are there things that you do to prepare? Obviously, the soccer season happens in the fall, but do you do things as a team in the winter, spring, summer to kind of get ready for the season? And along those lines, can you talk a little bit about the early return week before the rest of the students arrive and what that means in terms of being on campus, getting to know each other, that team bonding and chemistry that develops during that time?
So I think I'll start off with the early return. Being a new junior last year was really challenging coming from a different continent, but I feel like that early return for the athletes and just being on campus was very important to building that team chemistry that we needed. I was very shy. I hate to admit it, but I was shy. And I remember coming to my first ever training session at EHS, and like Hunter said, it was just like a family. They took me in and they nurtured me. They showed me the ropes around Episcopal before all the students came. So I wasn't lost when class time started. Besides that, after our season ended, that wasn't the end of the brotherhood that we had formed during the soccer community. We continued to train together on the weekends, do little pickup games just to make sure that we're fit and ready for the season that still hasn't come yet, but we're still grinding. And I remember we played futsal. Hunter was there, and I'm pretty sure he impressed as well. And I feel like these little things, the commitment that all the players put in is very important too. Just working when no one else wants you to work is very important.
Scott, I've literally had to chase these guys off the field. It was getting dark this fall on days when they, on the weekends when they were organizing their own pickup games. So it's, what they have going right now is a really great team culture, even away from the organized team activities.
I love that. And that's so doable in this community where everyone's living together, and it's just easy to grab each other on dorm and go out and, compete a little bit. Coach Wilcox, can you talk a little bit about the teams that you play, the league, the Virginia State tournament?
Yep, definitely. So one of the great things about Episcopal is that we're in a major metropolitan area. So there are not a lot of games where we're traveling significant distances to play, which means that, it lessens the impact on things like missed class time and time to do homework and other fun things. So our league, the IAC, is only a 6-school league with 2 schools in Maryland, 1 in the district, and 2 of us here in Virginia. So our games in our league are literally from 5 minutes away, like a mile and a half that way, to about 35, 40 minutes if we hit traffic. But we supplement our schedule with non-conference games against some other great schools in the state of Virginia, because we do have the opportunity to be ranked among the independent schools at the Division I level in the state of Virginia, and then if we are in the top 12 at the end of a given season, then we get to participate in the state tournament. So we do usually have a couple of trips a year to schools in Richmond or Charlottesville, where it's a little bit farther away, an hour and a half to 2 hours max, but that's only usually for 2 of our away games all year. So out of our regular season schedule of 17 games, there's very little travel. And then following the regular season, we do have postseason opportunities within the IAC. And then, as I said, if we qualify in the state of Virginia, which is really fun because it gives us a lot to work towards. It really keeps us, forward focused as we move through the season, because we always have that opportunity to qualify and have a postseason, which is always so much fun.
Great. Hunter and Yubsira, are there special traditions within the soccer program or memories that you have of a game or a practice or kind of a team moment together?
I'll start us off, I guess. So I think a tradition that's kind of fun is, like at the end of the practice, when everyone like puts their hand in, says like family and stuff like that. Since I've been like practicing with the varsity team, they do this thing where they put their hands on Alpha's head, and they say, like, we say the same stuff, but it's just like it's really fun. It just feels like you feel that connection again. Like you wouldn't do that with some stranger, you have to be with them to like do that. So it's a family at the end of the day.
Going off of what Hunter said, I feel like the hunt that we do post at private as soccer, I think, and it's just very comforting and warm. Like, to when the games rush, because the level of play was so
Great. Thanks, Yubsira. Yeah, I know those Woodbury games are really big moments for everybody. Can you, again, for Hunter and Yubsira, how about the facilities, playing on, the surface that we get to play on as a soccer team, and the fitness center, the weight room, the locker rooms. Can you talk a little bit about that for the prospective students?
Yeah, so Episcopal has great facilities. There's a lot of soccer fields with really nice grass. Like, I feel like it gets trimmed, like it looks like it gets trimmed like every 30 minutes. It's like it's almost perfection. Like, I've like coming from here, I've like never played on a field probably that good, and it's crazy. And we've also got like indoor. We actually, for the futsal, the final game of futsal, we converted the basketball court into an indoor like futsal arena. I don't know how we managed to do that, but it worked great. And also, the weight room, you've got like everything, you can work everything out. You got a really big selection and a lot of opportunity to grow.
All right, last. Oh, go ahead, Yubsira.
Firstly, I'd like to thank the staff and keeping on point, sharp. That has put in a lot of effort into making sure that it's COVID friendly and for us to still continue to trade and grow as players. I feel like the facilities here is one of the best in the area.
And Scott, before we move on, I want to highlight that point, because not every school can say that they've had both the U.S. women's national team and the U.S. men's national team use their facilities to prepare for international matches. And in the summer of 2016, the U.S. women trained here for 3 days using both our facilities inside and also our field that Hunter and Yubsira described, that is so meticulously maintained. And then later that fall in October, the U.S. men's national team played here before they were about to have a friendly in Washington, D.C. And it was really pretty amazing to have the opportunity to watch those incredible women who just a couple of years later won a World Cup, and the U.S. men who, to see the speed of play up close and personal, and to see the intensity with which they approach training, in that case for the men, for a friendly, was pretty amazing. And for the students who were here at the time, it definitely motivated them. And there was just a different level in practice the following days after they got to stand on the sidelines and watch those men training. It was pretty amazing. It's very cool.
That was that was exciting to have that quality of player on campus, both for the men's and women's teams. And all right, we're going to finish up with one last question for the boys, and then Coach, I'll give you kind of the floor to add any closing comments. But Yubsir and Hunter, if I were to ask you to give advice to a prospective student who is interested in coming to Episcopal and playing soccer, kind of what advice would you give them based on your experience?
Based on my experience, I think something that's important to know before you come into it is like everyone. There's no one that I know that I think feels left out. I think it's like everyone treats each other well. Like we help each other, we build each other up, do stuff like that. So I think that's really important to have. I remember coming here freshman year, I was scared. I was like, I don't know what they're gonna think of me. But like once I got here, it felt like everyone was like really like great guys, a great group of guys trying to help each other out and improve the soccer players.
One base and yeah.
Great. I think you were breaking up a little bit, but it sounds like trust the process and those bonds that are forming between you and your classmates and also your coaches. I know that's a really important relationship as well. Thanks, Hunter and Yubsira. Coach, any closing comments here?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you to Hunter and Yubsira for joining us, and point out that Yubsira is in Africa right now, which pretty remarkable that he's able to connect to us. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulty there, but tremendous that you guys would spend some time talking about this. And I do know how much you guys love to play, and I love to coach you guys just as much. And I think that Yubsira was talking about the bond among the players. That's what I'll wrap up with, because boarding school is a very special place. And during my career, as I mentioned, I do dorm duty and other things around campus, and I did live in an apartment attached to one of the dorms for 10 years, and so got to know some kids really extremely well. But it's through the soccer experience really where we have these powerful moments. And because I also work in alumni relations in the advancement office, it's kind of my job to stay in touch with guys who either had on dorm or had on the soccer field, or in some cases both. And these two guys, Hunter and Yubsir, were both academic advisees of mine. But it's been so fun and rewarding for me to stay in touch with guys who graduated 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and to stay connected with them, and to weddings and new jobs and baby announcements and all sorts of things. And then also to see how closely connected they stay to their old teammates and their old friends from Episcopal, because the lifelong bonds that are formed here truly are lifelong, and they sustain our alumni, long after they've graduated from Episcopal. And that's one of the really cool things for me to see that happen, and see that have now a little bit of a longer view of the school and the impact that it has on the kids. And so I'm just grateful that I get to take part in those experiences with the soccer players, each fall. And as you heard from the guys, also throughout the year, because there's a lot of activities that we're doing even in the off season. So, I think I would close with that, just how the amazing bonds that Yabsira was talking about. And as Hunter was saying, feeling so welcomed when he first arrived, even though he was really anxious. That's the way it starts. And then it just continues throughout the life of an Episcopal graduate.
Right. Thanks, Coach Wilcox and Hunter and Yabsira. It's really impressive, the culture that you've all created and the success that you've had, and those relationships that continue over time. So I really appreciate those comments and sharing those moments about the soccer program. For those prospective students that are interested in learning more about the soccer program, I know Coach Wilcox shared his contact info on the slide earlier. So feel free to reach out to him with any questions. And I know he can also put you in touch with Yabsira and Hunter if you'd like to get a player perspective. But we certainly look forward to meeting you all, and hope you're out there playing soccer for Episcopal in the very near future. Thanks for joining us.
Great. Thanks, Scott.